Welcome back. I am Justine Vicente and you're watching Eagle News International Australia Oceania. Bayanihan spirit is felt in the Filipino community in New Zealand as the Embassy and the Philippine Overseas Labour Office or POLO reach out to OFWs amid worries of another COVID-19 community outbreak. Greg Bessa, our New Zealand correspondent, has the details. Greg?
As the government intensifies its efforts to prevent or contain any possible community outbreak of COVID-19 in New Zealand, the Philippine Embassy and the Philippine Overseas Labour Office have been reaching out to hundreds of overseas Filipino workers in different parts of the country. As the economic impact of lockdown and the continuing threat of coronavirus have resulted to thousands of job displacements in New Zealand, the Philippine Embassy and the Philippine Overseas Labour Office are visiting different places in the country to conduct meetings and consultations with the Filipino migrant workers. Other than knowing their well-being and employment status, the Philippine Embassy and POLO, with partnership of Filipino community organizations, are also distributing food parcels to the workers. After visiting 6 cities, Philippine Ambassador Jesus Domingo and Labor Attaché Angel Burha Jr. met the overseas Filipino workers in Para-Para-Umo, Kapiti Coast, Wellington region to know firsthand their conditions, answer any of their queries, and even update them on the Philippine government efforts in helping the migrant workers abroad, especially those being adversely affected by the pandemic. Much as Ambassador Domingo and Labor Attaché Burha Jr. emphasized the importance of visiting and meeting with the Filipino workers as a manifestation of the Philippine government's concern for them, the employer who was kind enough to host the gathering expressed his appreciation to the Filipino diplomatic officials for reaching out to the workers.
We're here to distribute food packs to our kababayan. Ito ang outreach natin sa mga OFWs here in New Zealand who have been facing difficulties because of the COVID-19 situation.
Here in New Zealand, we are doing this as part of the worksite visitations that the Embassy and POLO jointly conducts for purposes of making the workers, our workers, feel that they're never forgotten by our government. In fact, our government, even in this very difficult situation, continues to reach out and care for our Filipino workers who are most important in our country's economy.
You guys being able to reach out to our guys here today, we really, as I mentioned earlier, we really appreciate what our guys do. They work very hard. They work long hours, and they always do it with a smile on their face. They're always very, very respectful, and we appreciate that. They're great people, and we've got lots of work for them going forward. So thanks again for coming.
After the meeting and consultation, Marcelo Esperas of the Knights of Rizal Wellington chapter assisted the Philippine Ambassador and Labor Attaché, along with the management of the Personal Touch Limited, in distributing food parcels to the workers who were grateful upon receiving such.
Kami po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat sa ating ambassador dito sa New Zealand na gumagabay sa amin at tumutulong sa bawat isa sa amin. Nagpapasalamat po din po ang bawat isa sa amin sa ating labor attaché na gumagabay sa bawat pangangailangan ng bawat isang Pilipino dito sa New Zealand.
Maraming salamat po sa ating Philippine Ambassador sa inyong pagbisita at sa ating labor attaché dito po. At sa kunting ayuda na aming natanggap, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Aside from visiting the overseas Filipino workers across the country, the Philippine Embassy is also facilitating the repatriation flight of Filipino nationals who were affected by the closure of New Zealand border. On 24th July of this year, 255 Filipinos availed the second repatriation flight to the Philippines, including those workers who were laid off from their jobs as their companies suffered substantial losses due to the COVID-19 pandemic. From Para-Para-Umo, Kapiti Coast, New Zealand, this is Greg Bessa. We live in interesting times.